Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Good news, maybe, for some of you, I don't know. I am going to bring back my Pick My Book video series. It is a series that I had just started on my BookTube channel when I decided to take a BookTube break. So the premise is that each month, or right before each month, I will pick 5 random books off of my TBR shelf, and I will film a video where I tell you guys about those books, and then you tell me which one of those books you want me to read in the upcoming month. I read it, and then I do a video where I review it for you. This is a way for me to be a little bit more disciplined. This is a way for me to work my way through some backlist books, because let's face it, when you're bringing in new books constantly, the newer ones always look shinier and more interesting, and the older ones just sit. So I got to do something about this. I've got to become more organized in what I plan to read, even if it kills me. And so I'm going to let you guys pick one book that I read every month. And I've got 5 of them here for the upcoming month. I will tell you a little bit about each one of them in just a moment. But there's another way that I'm going to decide what to read in the upcoming month. That's a little game that I'm going to call Kindle Roulette. Here's the thing. If you think I buy physical books at a rapid rate, you need to see my Kindle, because holy crap. I'm not going to lie. I don't spend money on Kindle books. I think $3.99 is the absolute most I've ever spent to read an ebook. Most of them are $3 or less, and a lot of them are free. So that's how I've accumulated hundreds of unread ebooks. So in the same video where I tell you guys the 5 options for the Pick My Book, I'm going to perform my Kindle Roulette project, where I've got my Kindle Fire here, and there's 4 ways that you can sort your books in your library. You can sort them by the most recently purchased, alphabetical by title, and then alphabetical by author's name, either in ascending order or descending order. So A to Z or Z to A. So each month, I'm just going to kind of randomly rotate between those 4 sort methods. For instance, let's just do most recent this month. And then my list pops up, and I'm going to do some scrolling, i.e. the roulette part of the Kindle Roulette. I'm not going to look. Obviously, these are not going to be alphabetical. I have no idea what order I've purchased them in. So let's just give this like 5 really good scrolls. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll let it stop. And then I will read one of the books that appears on the list. We have Dawn Girl. Dawn Girl. Kind of sounds like Gone Girl. Dawn Girl, a gripping serial killer thriller by Leslie Wolfe. Violated, Brandon Fisher FBI series book 5 by Carolyn Arnold. Probably shouldn't start anything with a book 5. The Long Walk Home by Will North. You Loved Me at My Darkest by Evie Harper. His Kidnapper's Shoes by Maggie James. And The Grave Tender by Eliza Maxwell. The only 2 books that I recognize on this list, which is terrible because it's sorted by most recently purchased, but the only 2 books that I recognize on this list are His Kidnapper's Shoes, because it's got the cover. I'll show you the cover of His Kidnapper's Shoes right now. But that cover to me is memorable. And then The Grave Tender, I think, recently showed up in my Amazon purchase suggestions. Amazon, you can do almost anything. Please stop suggesting me books that you know I've already purchased from you. Like, all these algorithms you have that are like magic, and you can't do that. Like, stop suggesting books I've already bought. I think I'm going to go with The Grave Tender by Eliza Maxwell. I better write that down. The Grave Tender. And because I'm not a cruel person, I am going to look it up and tell you what it's about. This actually sounds quite interesting. It's about a girl named Hadley living in East Texas, and her family, it sounds like there were some people in her family who were at least accused of doing not very nice things, but she was too young at the time to absorb the facts. It says she returns to the town widowed and pregnant later, and the townspeople still kind of look down or whisper about her family, and her father and grandmother will not answer her questions. So it sounds like she's going to try to, solve the mystery of her family's dark past. So actually, it's not a bad, it doesn't sound like a bad pick. Like, I can do this. I can get behind this. Okay, so now it's time for the 5 options for the Pick My Book. These are all books that I truly do want to read. Like, they've been sitting on my shelves, some of them for a really long time, kind of teasing me. And again, something newer always looks shinier and more exciting. I do explicitly remember purchasing each and every one of these with some real excitement to read them. The first is Don't Let Me Die. This is by Alex Sinclair. This is a self-published psychological thriller. It is about a woman who arrives home to find a killer holding her husband and her son at gunpoint. And the killer says that she has to choose which of the two can live, and only one of the two can. The thing is, this book takes place after she's made her decision. And I think that that is the most fascinating part of this novel. It says, after the event, as Emma's therapist calls it, her mind protects itself by omitting the decision she made. Now locked away in a psychiatric hospital, she must deal with the choice she made that day or face a life of uncertainty. As Emma's mind travels from before and after the event, she comes to realize that her life wasn't so perfect. Secrets and a troubled past will emerge from the dark, forcing her to remember who she chose. Will she be able to face reality, or will the truth destroy her mind forever? So, already a really intense sounding premise if you were in the action. But considering this book takes place afterwards, and I'm probably going to spend the entire time reading the book trying to figure out which one she chose, that's what really won me over. If that one sounds interesting to you after you've heard all the options, comment with the title of the book down below. The next is The Ritual. This is by Adam Nevill. I guess it's Nevill. Like, I would say Nevill. It might be Adam Nevill. I would look that up, but okay. Anyways, when 4 old university friends set off into the Scandinavian wilderness of the Arctic Circle, so survivalist aspect, they aim to briefly escape the problems of their lives and reconnect. But when Luke, the only man still single and living in a precarious existence, finds he has little left in common with his well-heeled friends, tensions rise. So, okay, these 4 guys are going to go off into the wilderness, and they're going to start fighting amongst each other. So these guys take a shortcut. They're fighting amongst each other. They don't want to be there, so they take a shortcut in order to shorten the amount of time they're on this trip together. And they end up stumbling upon derelict building with all of these symbols and artifacts and, ritualistic stuff. It says, as the 4 friends stagger in the direction of salvation, come on, that's perfect. They learn that death doesn't come easy among these ancient trees. Sounds absolutely freaking terrifying. So that's The Ritual. Let me know if that's your choice. Next is The Teller by Jonathan Stone. This is actually published by Amazon. But it is about a bank teller named Elaine. The old man that she had a relationship with, that was used to waiting on him in the bank, he gets hit by a delivery truck. Soon after, she decides that it'd be a really good idea to transfer $1 million from this old man's account into her own because he's been hit by a delivery truck. He won't miss it. Unfortunately, she doesn't know as much about this gentleman as she thinks she did. And it was probably a really, really bad idea for her to take that money. I just remember hearing about this and thinking, like, oh. It says, pulse-pounding thriller takes readers from the darkest corners of New York's financial empire into a shadowy hierarchy of wealth and power. The teller follows the money and takes readers along for the wild ride. I just think it sounds exciting. Also, I'm a little excited that it's short. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. Next is the book What Comes Next. This is by John Katzenbach. This is the story of a man who by chance stumbles upon the abduction of the latest victim of this couple running a website where people can view the abductees being tortured and killed. I remember buying this. I got it at the used bookstore, but believe it or not, I don't think it has ever been read. If it has, I've never read a book this cleanly. It reminded me of that movie. Help me out. It reminded me of that movie with Diane Lane and Tom Hanks' son, where she's in the internet crimes division of the FBI and stumbles upon a website where people pay to watch someone die. And the more visitors that come to the website, the faster the death happens. I can't remember what the name of that movie was. But anyways, What Comes Next reminded me of that movie, which was unsettling, yet good. And so I have wanted to read the book since I bought it. If you also want me to read What Comes Next, let me know in the comment section below. Finally, the fifth option for Pick My Book is Method 1533. This is by Shannon Kirk. It's the story of a pregnant teenager. Yeah, she's 16 years old. She is a manipulative prodigy. So this pregnant 16-year-old is abducted. And unfortunately, I think her abductors bit off a little bit more than they could chew. It says she's determined to exact merciless revenge. She is methodical, calculating, scientific in her plotting, a clinical sociopath. Leaving nothing to chance, secure in her timing and practice, she waits for the perfect moment to strike. What happens when the victim is just as cold as her abductors? It says the agents searching for a kidnapped girl have their own frustrations wrapped into this chilling drama. In the twists of intersecting stories, one is left to ponder who is the victim and who is the aggressor. The book is told in first person from the girl's, 16-year-old girl's perspective. At least parts of it are. I haven't examined the entire thing. Her thoughts are italicized. So like within the first paragraph, she's thinking a loose floorboard, a red knit blanket, a high window, exposed beams, a keyhole, my condition. Like, I want to read about this girl. I want to get into this girl's head. That's why I picked this up. That's why it's on this list in this stack. Again, that is Method 1533. I will list all the titles for you down in the description box. Tell me again what one you would like me to read. The one that has the most votes will be the one that I read in next month. I'll read it along with The Grave Finder. The Grave Tender, my Kindle Roulette pick. How exciting. I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are too. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon.